Excellent, 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 excellent.
Excellent. Excellent. Excellent. Excellent. Excellent. Excellent. Excellent. This is excellent news, Doctor.
Excellent, excellent, excellent.
Excellent. Excellent. Excellent.
That about sums up what tonight's show is going to be. Excellent. And I have with me tonight the great, the legendary, changed his name to Captain Fandom Nerd is with us today. Or should I say tonight? Today? Depends on where you are in the world. Could be today.
This is true.
Tomorrow. Yeah.
Thank you.
So, welcome on board, Captain. Give me the salute. Of course, sometimes you pop in with Tuesday Night Treks, so see you over there sometimes. As we
Absolutely.
discuss right now, Next Generation, and all that fun stuff. Now, there is a serious question I do have to ask. Is there a mirror universe, Captain Fandom Nerd? What's that like?
Mirror Universe version of me. Probably. Probably. In better shape, but not as snarky. So more serious. Nah.
Yeah, nothing wrong with being snarky. Of course, want to, of course, welcome the old man in the chat. Of course, my super wrench, John Rendell. He is here. He's also the man who's instrumental in making sure that Steve Gutenberg is a star. You've been falling down on your job there, by the way. And of course, the Padawan wannabe is here as well. Welcome on board. Everyone in the Mirror Universe, I think, has goatees.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, you have to. But what if you have a goatee in this universe? Suppose you would be a clean shaven.
I would say so. Either that or full beard.
Full beard. There we go. Mm-hmm. There we go. I think we got it. I think we got that. What the Mirror Universe would be like. So, of course, we've been talking, like I said before, we've been talking about, TNG, Star Trek Next Generation, with Master Paul over there. I suppose bringing back a lot of old memories of Star Trek past. Uh, are you on? You are on the Orville bandwagon, aren't you? You're one of the
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, I
and
am.
you'd say it feels like the old Star Trek and
I
everything.
would say it does in many ways. Yes, there's more of a comedy element in it, or has been, um, versus the classic Trek. But it has got the feeling of Star Trek in it. Um, it has some uh, modern takes on things, which they did in the '60s, but they let people decide for themselves. They tackled big subjects like racism,
Hmm.
and it was it was not beaten over your head. It was presenting the facts and then letting people decide what they thought.
Hmm.
Where right and wrong, that kind of thing.
And
And
I
go ahead.
oh, and I was going to say, I know you were in the same members only stream with Doomcock as he was talking about that, and he was basically bringing that same point up. It was approaching it where you think about it. It's not being pounded over the head with a sledgehammer. It was actually kind of coming from both points and letting you think about it.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's one thing I like is when writers can write something where they can present more than one side of the story, um, where they may obviously have their own beliefs, their own thoughts, and their own opinions. Uh, write it in such a way that it lets the person who's viewing it decide where they stand, while including, you know, both sides to an issue, or more than both sides to an issue. Um, and again, allowing people to think while watching, which is something that um, I think has gotten really to be lacking because a lot of TV now is made for the uh, cell phone generation. They're texting, they're watching on their phone, they're whatever, and they're distracted easily. So
Hmm. The TikTok universe.
yeah, yeah, the TikTok universe.
And kind of what we have had termed bumper sticker logic. They throw a bumper sticker on there, and it's like, look at that. I got my message out there. It's like, yippee. Okay, so what?
You're gonna have people out there going, "Huh? What are bumper stickers?"
Yeah, that's true. Oh, they're still out there, and I mean, I see cards just plastered with it. I mean, I've come to a conclusion that after a while, if a person has more than three bumper stickers on it, be careful.
True. Uh,
There's like this plastered. It's like, okay, I see your whole diatribe.
oh, I absolutely, and I remember having bumper stickers on my car before. Um, One, of course, would always be a local radio station,
Mhm.
and because it's like, hey, I want to support my local radio station. Here we go. Let's just plaster on there.
Mhm.
Um, that way, they always knew when I was coming. So you know, they
Mhm.
saw my car, and it's like, oh, there's a bumper sticker. Okay, now we know who it is.
Mhm. Well, did they ever do in your area where they'd have their vehicle driving around, if they saw your bumper sticker, they'd give you a prize?
Um, they didn't quite do that. The station I listened to, or stations I listened to, I should say. But what they would do is that if they had a remote and you had your bumper sticker, uh, they would often give a prize or, you know, put you in for a special drawing.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, when there were only 2 entries, it's like, we got 2 prizes, so let's see here. Okay, you get to pick which one you want.
I'm always one of those. If I have a 50-50 chance, 80% of the time I'd get picked the wrong one. So that's
Yeah.
Oh, but yeah, I mean having that coming out and they're not in the bubble talking. I mean, I have to confess, I have not seen the Orville yet. I don't have Hulu, so I haven't been able to catch up on this series. And I've seen a few episodes before, the big 3 year uh, sabbatical, you might say.
Mm-hmm.
So, uh, but watching it, I definitely got that sense of the old Star Trek. Of course, it was a lot more humor orientated when it was on Fox, and of course, I hear that big complaint that it's so much more serious on Hulu.
Right.
And people don't like it, but it's like, well, that's the direction probably that Seth wanted to go in the first place, but he's known for being Seth, Fox, Family Guy, and all that stuff. So,
Oh, and trust me, there's still humor elements to it. There is no
Mm-hmm.
doubt, particularly with the previous episode. It was definitely, immature, and at least one of the characters on there was being immature. So it was there's still that humor element. It's not like taking a comedy and making it into a drama.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mr.
there's
Dax, welcome aboard. Sorry.
no problem. No, there's still the comedy element to it. That's a good thing.
Mm-hmm. And even when I was watching it on Fox, there was still a serious element to it as well. I mean, I remember watching the one where Mercer and I got the mental block on his ex-wife, and they're put in basically an alien zoo, and they're going through the whole thing on that one. And it's like, yeah, there was humorous elements, but obviously a very serious situation and topic and whatnot with that. So.
It's funny because I need to go back and watch some of those episodes again. It isn't like Star Trek that I've seen, 100 times each, where I can go, okay. I know the episode by the first 3 seconds. It's like, okay, I know which one this is. Don't even need to see the title. Just okay. 1, 2, 3. Okay, I know which one it is.
Yeah. Well, we do. It does have the distinguish of having the time. Being around for so long and us, watching it so often. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
that we memorize stuff. It's just like when you're listening to the score to a movie or whatever. It's like, oh yeah, I know what's going on in this scene right now.
So I think after this season, I'm going to take the time and go back and rewatch it to just kind of refamiliarize myself with a lot of the first 2 seasons before watching the 3rd season again.
Mm-hmm.
And that's one of the things that the Orville has on it that a lot of the current shows don't, is watchability.
You broke up for a second there. You said watchability?
Rewatchability.
Oh, rewatchability. Okay. Mm-hmm.
Where something you can just watch once and then you're done. It's like, okay, I've seen it.
Mm-hmm.
The Orville, however, is a lot more like classic Trek in that you can rewatch it again and you can see new things each time.
Mm-hmm.
And that's one of the things I like. I'd like to see some of the movies that are coming out. I haven't been able to get out to the movies for a while. Yeah, yeah, I like watching it on TV. Don't get me wrong. I have a 40 something inch TV, so it's not like it's the old 19-inch, but still, it's not the movie theater.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I love the movie theater experience. I mean, the last movie we went to see was Dune, Part One, and but it's just so scary to go see. I know the missus, she went and saw Maverick with her cousin
Mm-hmm.
when she was watching her. And I was like, oh, okay, I guess I missed out. But it's so scary because movies have gone so bad now that I mean, I remember going see in the '80s. Even when we saw a bad movie, we still felt like we got our money's worth because we were still entertained, even if it was the fact that we're, making comments and being like Joe and the bots from MST3K.
Oh yeah.
Now it's just like, oh, I don't know how I could do it. I mean, I wanted to walk. I wanted to get up and walk out of Suicide Squad, the first one. But I was with my family. It's like, okay, I'll just keep watching through this. Okay, we had fun. Thank you. Let's go now. you know?
Well, see, that's when you go to the snack bar and accidentally get in the longest line and um get your thing of popcorn, get your drink, and be, oh, the line was so long.
Yep. It doesn't work though because oddly enough, when we've gone to see movies, the theaters haven't been full, even with Dune. And we even saw that on like the big IMAX type screen that they had in
Right.
Eden Prairie, and we're talking Eden Prairie. That's a pretty hot little area out there. So it just makes me wonder when I go to these theaters. It's like how are they getting through with these films? It's like uh, sometimes it's like we start wondering we're going to be the only ones in, and then a couple of people come in, sit down. It's like okay, great. There's one or two other groups in here, and it's like. And it shouldn't be that these areas. We're not that far in the outskirts. These are places that should be drawing them in, and they're not.
That'll change.
I hope so.
It'll change, and it'll be nice once that you know there'll be some new movies coming out that people will be wanting to go see.
Mhm.
Um, like this past weekend, obviously the 4th of July, a lot of people were not necessarily going out to the movies. A lot
Mhm.
were, but they were more focused on the 4th of July celebration. Um, with next weekend's coming up, there's not really going to be a lot to celebrate.
Mhm.
So I think that there's going to be a bigger return to the box office for this summer.
I hope so. I mean, I know what the Minions movie is. If it hasn't come out, it's coming out now. I know the long suffering loves the Minions, so I suppose we should go see the Minions.
Oh, definitely.
Bananas.
That's one of the things that my great nephews like is Minions. So I'm gonna I may have to actually go with them to see it. Um, that'd be the first movie I've seen out in a while.
Mm-hmm.
But
I mean, I'm one of those that would go in and see the quote unquote kids film as an adult because they're always so fun. With the former and of course with the current. It's like going to see Monsters Inc. and all the other films that were in the film because they're just absolutely well done movies. It's like yeah, it wasn't one that was dumbed down for kids. Adults could watch them and enjoy it, and of course, you kind of still feel a little self conscious sitting there going, "Okay, I'm kind of like the only adult in there. Please don't think I'm some sort of creep. Please, please, please." But I mean, I love that. I mean, obviously, Lightyear sounds like it took a beating out there, but Minions, I hope, they've been doing pretty good with those films.
oh yeah, it was funny because I remember reading the opening weekend where they were talking about they'd spent like 285 million for advertising. They took in like what was it 180 something million. So it was a good first weekend.
Hmm.
And so they'll end up making their money back without a doubt.
Hmm.
So you got, like I said, you got weekends coming up ahead that you know families are going to want to get out. They're going to want to watch a movie, um, and that's one of those popcorn flicks.
Hmm.
You don't necessarily want to go out and watch, a uh, one where you're having to think the whole time and psychological thriller or something like that.
Right.
Um, Sometimes it is nice to get out and just watch a popcorn flick. You can just sit back, have your thing of popcorn, which I can't have, um, and just watch this movie and have fun.
Yeah, with the what was that Free Guy? That was one of the last really fun popcorn films I watched. With that one there with uh, Ryan Reynolds running through in that movie. But
Hmm.
I mean, even Pixels, Pixels gets so much flack, but it's like this, it's a popcorn film. Just sit down and relax and enjoy it for what it is. And
Hmm.
even, you going back in many ways, the Bond films, with Connery and Roger Moore, especially more Roger Moore popcorn films, seeing those in there, and uh, uh, Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom and all that stuff. It was just sit down, relax, enjoy, have a uh, good, good, good time. It's like it's escapism and having going to a good thriller or whatever now and then is good. But it's like no, this is to get us away from the garbage we're going through every day.
It's like, okay, I don't necessarily want to turn on the TV and see um, the same thing that's going on in the news on a TV show.
Hmm.
It's like this is I want to escape reality, not be inundated by it.
The biggest turnoff for me is from today's headlines or ripped from today's headlines. Okay, I'm not watching them. Not watching it. And you know what? I don't know if I told you this or not, but when it really hit me on that one was during the siege of Waco because Tim Daly was filming a made-for-TV movie on David Koresh while the thing was all happening, while the feds were all still around the building and all that.
Mm-hmm.
And they said as we're going along, and they stopped filming and we're all around the TV set on the set of this movie when the fire happened. And I'm sitting back going, how can you be making a telemovie like this when the things are happening? You don't have all the information or anything like this. It's just sensationalism, garbage. And I think that was when the milk finally got soured for me for anything like that. And I really I started getting jaded. I have to admit, that's when I really started getting jaded on a lot of that. I had some bits of it before that, but that was kind of like that straw that broke the camel's back.
Oh, yeah. Oh, Babylon B. Are you? No, no, no. Some of those articles are funny, but some of them it's just like it's almost like reading the real news. Ugh.
I have been fooled a couple times. I start going through there and then see the headlines and going, "Oh, what?" And it's like, "Oh, it's the B." It's like, yeah, but that's going to hit too close to home. I'm sure it's going to come true. It's scary. It's scary sometimes. It is
Yeah.
absolutely scary. And hey, salty Texas Sea. And yeah, so the Babylon Bee. I mean, it's great satire, but sometimes when satire comes through, it's just frightening.
You know, I've never gotten to talk to Salty Texas C, even though I keep hearing his name.
Oh yeah, but no, he's a great guy. He's a great guy. He's got better pipes than me, as I always say. And of course, he sits back and says, "Nah, you got better. We have a pipe war, how we settle." But yeah, good old salty Texas. He's a great guy.
I mean, I've seen him in different chats,
Hmm.
so
Yeah.
it's funny how many people you see in different chats around, and then it's like, oh, hey, I recognize that name.
Hmm. Well, yeah. I mean, which is one of the reasons why I wanted to start doing channel like this is because I started finding out that, you know, I know these people, but yet this person doesn't know that person. That person doesn't know that person. They've heard about that person, and it's like, well, that starts getting a little bit more exposure of who we all are, and a little bit more exposure, even though I got a huge amount of viewership.
Oh, you have more than you think. Trust me.
but
Trust me. You,
so
by the way, you never know who's watching because there are going to be people in chat that are going to be either not talking or
mhm.
watching after the fact, and you never
And yeah.
know.
Oh yeah, and anybody who is lurking, we do appreciate all. Just because you don't chat doesn't mean that you're not appreciated. I try to make that known too. It's like we always let the people in the chat know, say, "Hey, how's it going? Hey, everybody there," and let them know. But those who don't, they're just as important because they just like to sit back and listen to a couple of people flap their gums, flap, 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 flap. And of course, yeah, coming back and watching later on, that's always great too. So, is there anything exciting that you've been seeing coming up here? Because you're saying you want to go see into the theater. Has there been anything that's been grabbing you, piquing your interest?
No, I can't honestly say there has been. There's been stuff. It's like I hear about it, and it's like, oh, I want to hear about this. I want to hear. I want to watch Midnight's Edge's take on it. I want to watch, whoever Doomcock or whoever else is going on, hear what they have to say about it. But there hasn't been something that's like, ooh, I've got to go see this.
Mm-hmm.
It was one thing back in the day where you could go. I mean, granted, you were only making like $7 an hour, but you were paying like $3.50 for a movie.
Mm-hmm.
Now you're making $15 an hour or more, and you're paying like $15 for a movie.
Well, remember the days when you had the 99-cent theater?
Oh yeah, in fact I had a couple that I knew near me,
Mm-hmm.
and one was really close. I would go there at least once a week to watch a movie, and they would actually have the better prices on the concessions,
Okay.
surprisingly. So I would go in, I'd get the pop, get a popcorn because I could eat the popcorn back then. Um, and buy some candy. I'd leave. You know, back then it wasn't very much. So you know, if I spent $15 going to the movies, um, including the movie ticket, that was a big deal.
Oh yeah, huge. I mean, I can remember the 99-cent theater. I mean, I saw E.T., Time Bandits, Clash of the Titans. I mean, I seen all those films in the 99 cents. I even saw Total Recall in the 99-cent theater uh, back in the day. But, it was, it's like, hey, you got to budget down and there you go. And you're still having a lot of fun. The one place was called one place where literally had a blockbuster. People, because you had to wait outside, and the line literally went around the block to get into the theater.
Mm-hmm. Well, I remember there would be a time I was going with friends to the drive-in.
Yeah.
I would save up. I would, it would be a splurge to go to the drive-in.
Mhm.
But at that point, there were, three movies going on. So it's like, okay, uh, it's worth it. Even with two, it was still worth it.
Oh yeah. I mean, I remember going. My dad took me to a science fiction movie night, and what were the movies? It was, I know Logan's Run was one of them. Doggone it! I remembered every single one of them they had. Maybe even Star Trek: The Motion Picture was one of them in there, but it was three sci-fi movies through the whole for the whole night at the Man France Theater.
Wow.
I know that's a. I'm trying. I'm thinking maybe Buck Rogers, but I could be wrong. I don't think it was Buck Rogers, so I'm sure it wasn't Buck Rogers. I can't remember what the other film is. I'm getting old now, but I know Logan's Run was one of them. So I mean, see that on a big screen, I tell you.
And I know I'm one of the few. I've never seen Rocky Horror Picture Show.
I haven't either. My wife has, but I have never seen. It was always downtown Minneapolis at late at night, and it's like I don't want to go to a midnight showing downtown Minneapolis. Never went there, and long suffering, her brother took her to see it once. So, and did you know that movie? At least maybe now it has been, but it was never officially released ever. All
Really?
the showings that they had, it was never part of an official release. They were just
Hmm.
showed it at the midnight showing and never had an official release. But you had all that every Saturday night the people would come out there and have a wild time and a great show of it and making all that money.
Oh. Your brother was mean.
Yeah. Oh yeah, he is. He is. He is a mean person. But she deserved it. Never mind.
Oh,
Sorry. I'm sleeping on the couch tonight.
either
I mean,
that
I
or
wonder.
is she close enough she can come hit you or
Oh, yeah, I think I heard something in another room. I think I heard something in the other room. I wonder if there's any theaters that still do that yet. I know they quit doing it here. I wonder if there's some places that still do that.
That's a good question. I remember in Kansas City there used to be a couple that would have them every weekend, and so
Mm-hmm.
I just never went.
Yeah.
And then I kept hearing about people. It's like, if you find out it's your first time seeing it,
Yeah,
So it's like,
you're in for it.
no, I'm not going to do that. I think I'll wait and watch it
Mm-hmm.
another way. Uh,
Yeah, it's like sitting in the front row of a Gallagher comedy special. You know, when he brings out the old sledge-o-matic. Boom. Yeah. I don't like I said. I mean, I guess I never knew anybody who really was interested in seeing it, and of course, like I said, it was downtown and all that. It's like, nah, I was more interested in other stuff and running around doing it. So, yeah. You can put me in the hall of shame for that. But just thinking in some of those movies that we had, and even TV shows when you were excited for the TV shows. Uh, I love watching old commercials on the YouTube channels. They have it, and
mhm.
sometimes I go across them where they're doing the promotions for the television seasons, and you don't see anything like that where they have the stars out there. They're all acting excited, and it's like all the people who are part of that season for the new shows and such like that, and you don't even see anything like that where they're going out there and having excitement for, hey, this is a new season now, type of thing.
Oh, wow. I just
Oh,
decided to look at the chat. Old man.
oh,
That
that one. Hmm. I
one.
had a feeling. Hmm.
Well, let's see here. Um, there was a roller rink near where I lived that was turned into a church.
Talk about holy rollers.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. And then the McDonald's was they built a new McDonald's across the street from the old one.
Hmm.
So they sold the old McDonald's. It became a church.
Ha! And the reading is from the McGospel of
Exactly.
the McLord's Prayer and the McCreed. You know, now it's time for the McDominic.
Uh,
uh, I mean, when we had downtown Minneapolis, there was we had Shinders. It was kind of the newsstand, comic, geek, magazine, all that sort of stuff. And on the one block, they had the original one, and then they had a bigger one at the other end of the block, and bars and stuff in between. They tore that block down, and Shinders had to move. They moved right into an old Burger King. So it's like downtown there. It's like, okay, well, it works, I guess. I mean, they had enough room for it, so
yeah.
it still looked like a Burger King on the outside, but it has that Shinders. Oh,
Well,
yeah.
we have an old what was it? Um, now now I can't think of it. It's one of the Hardee's, old Hardee's restaurant was They'd closed it down, and so it had been closed for several years, and then all of a sudden a bank moved into it. And so then that's where I actually years later started banking.
We actually had the opposite at the Hub Shopping Center in Richfield. The one of the banks built a bank in the parking lot there, and now it's a Burger King. So it went the other way. So, and then the movie theater. They had the movie theater for the longest time in Richfield. That got turned into a bank. Unfortunately, it did tear down the theater, the bank, the theater, or whatever. But so yeah, the theater became a bank. So it's just amazing what gets changed around, and what was originally in there is now something completely different.
Mm-hmm.
It's just wild. Oh, but yeah, I mean, I wish I could say there was so many things, anything out there to really get excited about, but for me, but I mean, I know it's going to happen. We're on the verge of it. We are winning the culture war in that area. It just doesn't mean we're going to win all the victory, have all the battles and all that. But I feel sorry for this generation. I mean, not having all that. Maybe I blame it on. There's just so much stuff. There's just too many channels or too many stuff that they're pumping out. It's all it's all quantity instead of quality. And I think back in the day it was the other way around. You had to do quality because you didn't have the quantity.
Well, the funny thing is, I mean, like what we're doing right now, we're just talking off the cuff. There's no script. We've got nothing planned, but we are providing greater entertainment and more thought than a lot of the entertainment, and I use quotes, that's coming out.
Well, and even some of the commentary people.
Yeah. Because, first of all, we're saying this is our opinion. We're not selling it as news. We're, it's like, this is my opinion. I'm not saying that everybody else should think the way I do.
Mm-hmm.
God knows I know better than that.
I think we were talking about that the other night. About, we don't want everybody thinking alike. We need to have the conflict. And when I say conflict, I'm not saying going out there and pounding on each other, but in a sense, even debate is considered a conflict. It's a conflict.
Absolutely.
Of ideas. Yeah. And
I mean, we need that difference of opinion. Mm-hmm. It's healthy. Mm-hmm. That's one way we learn is by interacting with people who don't share our experience, who don't share our viewpoint. And I think one of the things that's most important is we have to be open to hearing others' opinions, other, thoughts and beliefs. Mm-hmm. And I think one of the problems a lot of people are having now, they'll go on Twitter and just, /react.
Knee-jerk.
Yeah, a knee-jerk reaction. But they don't stop and think that their words actually mean something. Mm-hmm. That people are actually going to take it seriously, that people are going to be affected by what's said. Mm-hmm. And unfortunately, it's too easy to post a little blurb on there Whereas, even here, you've got to take a little time to think, process your thoughts, and then speak. Um, so it's, I don't know. It's almost too easy anymore.
Mm-hmm. Well, people think that because you disagree, it's a personal attack, and it's not.
Right.
Um, and the big thing is if all you can do is react, insult, uh, as a response, you don't have an argument, and the argument has been won by the other person. Uh, and yeah, I mean, generalization is a good thing for a starter for a discussion, but you can't keep generalization. It's got to be funneled down and brought to points and exact. Uh, so many people just think that arguments or debates or such is generalization. Generalization, bumper sticker logic, generalization. It's like, no, there's a little bit more to that. And if you talk and you listen, you might learn something. Um,
Exactly.
and like Harlan Ellison, I mean, the man is 180 was, unfortunately he's passed now. 180 degrees diametrically opposed to me, but I consider him one of the greatest writers. Basically the Mark Twain of our century, of our era that he
Hmm.
had, and the quality and what he brought forward, and his, making people think on all that. And it's like, well, if you can appreciate that, someone who, and the aspect is like, you have to go beyond who the person is. What do they provide? J. Michael Sosinski, what does he provide? Gene Roddenberry, what did he provide? George Lucas, when he was in charge, what did he provide? Uh, and that's the important thing, and not be in the that bubble. And unfortunately, we live in a bubble culture. You got
Hmm.
to be in my bubble or else. Well, I like to
Exactly.
I like to pop, and I like to pop bubbles.
Uh, yeah, that would be fun.
Mm-hmm.
Pop a few bubbles.
Mm-hmm. Uh, you know, and I can see, and this is not an insult. I can see the knee-jerk fan base right now for the new Trek that's out there because they're living in the moment. But when it's all said and done, is it going to have, like we were talking about before, the sustainability, the rewatchability? Can we watch it over again? I don't think so.
Mm-mm.
I mean,
Oh, even the people who are fans aren't watching it again.
mhm,
Not to the same degree that you know the classic fans were.
mhm,
They would watch, and it's like, okay, next, move
mhm,
on. Um, Whereas, we would be watching something and then watching it again and
mhm.
watching it again. And
Well, what was a miracle is, when we had not that many channels and we were able to watch the shows that our parents grew up with,
hmm.
which was, I mean, I knew someone, and he said, I can't watch black and white TV. It's like, what? No, I can't watch anything in black and white. It's like, you have really, really stunted your ability to enjoy great television and movie that way.
Oh, absolutely. In fact, have been a few movies that have been colorized.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I go, no, give me the black and white version. I want that
Mm-hmm.
back.
Oh yeah, I mean, I remember when Ted Turner was going mad with that back in the late '80s. Yeah, it was when he was
Yep.
starting with that, and I not Shallot, um, but one of the critics basically sat back and said, "Okay, we don't mind you doing it. Just make sure you keep the originals in pristine shape and keep them around. Don't have those go to waste.
Right.
And so, and I'm in that type of attitude. Okay, fine, colorize stuff, but keep the stuff original. I cannot imagine seeing Citizen Kane in color. Just
No.
no way. Or uh, let's see. Well, one movie I can understand if they did colorize it, The Day the Earth Stood Still, because they wanted to have that in color in the first place, and
Mhm.
they didn't have the budget. But here or there, I've seen some of the people doing some colorization of the old black and white Doctor Who episodes. It's like, yeah, I'd love to see some of these in color, but just keep the black and white in good shape.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Well, I still remember catching a couple of the well, one of the series of the second Doctor. Speaking of Doctor
Hmm.
who happens to be of the ones that I've seen my favorite, and it was black and white. It's just this. It was so much better.
Hmm.
I think it hid the well cheapness of the
Hmm.
sets better
Hmm.
because
Exactly. It did help out.
so I mean there was a certain aspect to it that actually helped being in black and white.
Hmm. Excuse me. You can hide stuff so nice in black and white if you do it right. A lot easier than color. It's so hard, much harder to do it in color than it is in black and white. And you can really cheat. You can really cheat good in black and white. Oh, another film, Psycho. Who can imagine seeing Psycho in color?
Ugh.
Or those Humphrey Bogart noir films? I mean, that's part of the texture. That's part of the world. The world.
Mm-hmm. Well, going with Psycho, you that would have changed the entire feel of the movie if it were in color. I think
Hmm.
there was a certain horror aspect to it, just being in black and white.
Hmm. That that thriller, that
Mm-hmm.
on keeping you on the edge, and it showed when they did the Vince Vaughn and Heche, shot by shot remake. No one ever talks about that. Didn't go anywhere. It's like, why? Why? And you think of the old Universal films, Dracula and Frankenstein, and even even my favorite Abbott Costello's Frankenstein's monster. I mean, what you would lose if those were done in color. Even the Munsters, the TV show Munsters,
Mm-hmm.
you know, especially
I
after seeing the color pilot that they did, because they did the pilot in color, and it's like, oh no, I'm glad they went black and white.
I've never seen the color pilot.
Hmm. I've seen bits and pieces. I never saw the thing all the way through, but it was like it was just so weird seeing everything in color on the show. It's like, oh no, it's got to be in black and white.
Ah, wow. Imagine if we had a script, we would have gone off of that long time ago.
That's what this is all about. you know, when I was growing up, my imagination, because we got our first black and white TV, I think around color TV. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
in 1977, thereabouts in 1977. Before that, everything was in black and white that we had
Mm-hmm.
for television. and it was a used one. We had to buy it used. People going home buying used TVs, but that's what you did back then because they were so expensive. But I could swear in my little pea brain that I watched these shows, and I guess it must have been the imagination saw the stuff in color.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I remember seeing the Mickey Mouse Club in color, and it's like I'm talking about the original one with
Right.
way back in the '50s, and it's like no, it was never in color, but I could have sworn I saw this show in color, and it was just the that imagination, I suppose. Putting the painting and the colors and stuff like that in my little pea brain.
Oh, back in the 50s. Well
Mm-hmm.
before my time.
Oh yeah, well they were rerunning them all the time, so no, was it? I can't remember which, but they reran them during the day for the kids again, because
Wow.
Philip Spaces. So
Mm-hmm.
I was watching that in the '70s.
It was cheap. You
Mm-hmm.
just throw it on and didn't have to pay a lot
No.
for it.
Mm-hmm. Like you had the Laurel and Hardy shows. You had the Our Gang or Little Rascals, um, Abbott Costello, the Three Stooges. Now I never was a big Stooge fan myself. I mean, I was more
No.
the Laurel and Hardy guy. I love Laurel and Hardy. Their shorts, even the movies. A Chump at Oxford, which has Peter Cushing in it. So here you have Governor Tarkin with Stan Laurel. And all the history that gets involved. It's like all the connection, boom, boom, boom. You know.
Oh, I remember. Yeah, we had a cabinet. I remember that it was black and white TV, and
Hmm.
my dad was working at Sears, and they had a cracked cabinet that they were having problems selling, so that he got a discount on it.
Mm.
So that was really the first color TV we had was a cabinet, um, and it was fun to sit there and watch.
Hmm.
Of course, the screen, you know, back then was huge. It
Hmm.
was like I think I don't remember. Was it 13 inches? It may have been as big as 19 because, like I said, he got a deal on it because of working there.
Hmm.
But I mean, if you can imagine now a screen that size, people would be going, "That's tiny."
Yep. Well, yeah. I mean, I got one of those smaller flat screen TVs when they first came out, and someone sat back and goes, "Why do you get one so small for?" It's like, well, it's what I could afford. So we need to have a big one. It's like, I'm fine. Honestly, I'm fine.
Well, I got a smaller one that I bought that I'm using as a monitor,
Hmm.
and it's absolutely perfect. So I'm going to
You
be
know,
using that. Yeah, go ahead.
yeah, I knew somebody. Her husband insisted that they watch their TV on a computer monitor. This is back in the '90s,
Mm-hmm.
about the late '90s, and he insisted on having this big, huge monitor, and then the monitor broke. And she goes, "Well, we don't have any TV right now." It's like, "What? Well, you got no." He refuses to watch anything other than on a computer monitor.
Oh,
It's like, okay, well, your life.
wow. this has actually been fun. I'm been kind of looking at the chat to see if there's anything that we've missed.
Yeah, talk about TVs, teeny TVs, 8-inch TVs, hail mouse.
Oh, yeah, I remember the big screens that were 2 feet deep. Yeah, that was another one. Got a floor model of that. It was a big screen TV. It was about 75 inches, I think. And maybe it was 60. I don't remember. Anyhow, but this thing was 2 feet deep, at least.
Better stuff on.
You had to sit at just the perfect angle in order to really see and enjoy the TV. It was fun to have.
My uncle had one of those projection big screen TVs, and again, you had to be in the right spot to watch it. If you were off to the side, any way, shape, or form, forget about it. You had the three little, the 3 colors and that beam down for the coloring and all that. It's like, okay, well, I'm happy with what we got.
I had a friend that had one of those type of things, and it's like, yeah, if you were sitting in the sweet spot, it was absolutely perfect.
Mm-hmm.
If you weren't, yeah,
that's okay.
And now you got TVs. It's like, oh, like the one I have now. I'm glad I didn't buy any bigger. Because I have a little dresser that I have it sitting on, and it barely fits. I'm going, okay, I'm glad I didn't buy any bigger.
Yeah,
got on clearance. I'm still in that mindset. I still get things on clearance and buy it on sale.
That's the best way to do it. If you can find it cheap, or go to a place that isn't so expensive, or I mean, why spend more money than you absolutely need to? Why? That's why I always went to the dollar theaters, the 99-cent theaters.
Same here. You got a good experience in the whole thing. And I miss those days.
I think this generation really lost out on that. It's just too much stuff all at one time, sensory overload. It's people don't know how to wait. I mean, can you imagine how they'd be having to wait 3 years to figure out if what Darth Vader said to Luke was true? And will Han Solo be thawed off from carbonite? Or even 2 years. Or even 2 years between, okay, Spock's dead, and what's going to happen here in the next Star Trek film, we had to wait. And it built up, and, they knew that we were waiting, and they knew they had to deliver.
I don't know where you go, John, but ew.
Where was it? Yeah. Well, because they got people spill the pop and all that.
Yep, that's what happens when you spill your pop there.
there was a lot of theaters that didn't really care much about it. Clean those up and you go, you know, you know, and such. And
Oh,
oh yeah, well, the Brits had color before black and white, but they went black and white with the BBC until about 1969, 70. Can you imagine that? Everything on the BBC was black and white.
wow.
Until about 69, 70. Because I know all of Monty Python was in color, and I think they started in at least 69. But everything leading up to that was black and white, and then they would film it in color in black and white for some of the shows for a while. So like the Third Doctor, and yeah, even Benny Hill in on the BBC was black and white. It was when he went to Tim's that he went color.
See, I didn't know that the Third Doctor was done in black and white.
Yeah, he was. They filmed both black and white and color, and when they did the purges at BBC, smart move, Beeb. You'd have some only some of the stuff, some of the stuff that was surviving was the black and white episodes. So, like when they released it here in the United States, his first season, only one story was shown in color. The rest were all in black and white because that's all they had for survive. There were color episodes, but not enough to fill the full episode. But they had enough for all the black and whites. Mm-hmm. So they did. I think they did that for almost. Yeah, they did that for his entire run. And then after that, they quit doing the duel.
Well, now it would just be too expensive. It's
Mm-hmm.
more expensive to do in black and white than it is color.
Mm-hmm. I know it's amazing. Before it was the other way around. It was like color was way too expensive. Can't do it in color. It's so expensive. Now the other way around.
Yep. Oh wow.
It's like Young Frankenstein. How the studios kept on trying to trick Mel Brooks into filming in color. And he said, "No, I want it black and white." And they pulled that one stunt. They said, "Why aren't you filming it in both, black and white and color?"
Mm-hmm.
And he saw through it right away. It's like, yeah, I know what's going to happen. You're going to throw the black one away, and you're going to put the color one out there. So he said, nope, it's going to be all black and white. Again, how can you imagine watching that film in color? It's just so amazing the way it was. Just like he had in Silent Movie. The biggest joke in that film that I got the biggest kick out of was only one line was spoken in there, and that was by Marcel Marceau, who was a famous mime. So it was the mime that talked in the Silent Movie.
Wow.
Oh yeah, good old Mel Brooks. Where would we be without him?
Be interesting. There were a lot of people that didn't find his humor as they didn't appreciate it as much as other people.
No,
but that's the thing. I think that's another thing that's gone is patience.
mm-hmm.
Going back to the TikTok generation thing where, everything is on demand right now. You can see it right now. And I think we've lost something with that.
Mm-hmm. You had to work for a joke, and you got rewarded from it. And even if it was a groan at the end, a joke was worked up to. You were worked up to that joke, and which of course, he's out of the Catskills, so with all the Catskill Jewish comedians that came out there, knew how to work jokes like that,
Mm-hmm.
and you just don't. It's like all they want is one-liners now. People going out there with one-liners, one-liners, one-liners. It's like we grew up on hearing stories. And I know his name's bad, but Bill Cosby told stories. George Carlin told stories. These people were, and they worked for a joke. And you're sitting on the edge of the seat. Okay, we're getting it. Aha! Here's the payoff. And you never, you never, you enjoyed that, especially if they're good at it. That is, it's the
Oh yeah.
delivery. And no, Jackie Mason, who's now gone. I always enjoyed Jackie Mason and how he did his approaches on stuff with that. Uh, but yeah, it's Orson Bean, who wasn't Jewish, but he knew was around a lot of those people and learned from that. You just don't have that. It's just that we want that. No, which is
Mm-hmm.
good. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that type of comedy, but now that's all it's become. It seems like.
Yeah. That's everything is
Mm-hmm.
that.
Mm-hmm.
And I can't snap. That's one of the few things I can't do. Um, never learned.
There we go. I'll do it for you. Yeah, some people can't snap. Some people can't do that. Or there we go. That. Uh, what was her name in the original series? The Vulcan priestess, T'Pol.
Mm-hmm.
T'Pol. She couldn't do it, so she split her finger off screen and then raised her hand, so she had that. But she was unable to do the Vulcan salute without having help. A little bit of trivia there, folks.
Absolutely.
Try to educate.
Oh no, not education. That's horrible.
Education? Did I say education? Oh, if that's the case, we have to have this. There we go. See, the more you know. I got a ton of them. I loaded this stuff up with fun stuff.
Awesome.
I mean, one of my favorites.
Very interesting, but stupid.
Oh, laughing. The first couple of years of laughing was so funny, and that was one of those whiz bang shows. But it was that's the way that was all about. It was just wild, Sakatumi fun. I loved
Mm-hmm.
watching it. After a while, it started falling down, but about the time Goldie Hawn left. But it was I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it. Oh, John Rindo's out there doing bad jokes. Okay, John, this is for you.
That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
There you go, John. Oh, that's just it. Futurama. Were you ever a Futurama guy?
I didn't actually watch it when it was on. I did watch it because of another YouTuber, Burr of Prey 5. He would have watch parties. And so I watched all the episodes because of him.
So what's your thought about it coming back again?
I'm going to be interested in watching it. I am going to watch it. I hope it's good. I hope it's good.
Me too. I mean, how The Simpsons has gone downhill so bad. It's like, please, 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 keep Futurama the way Futurama was. Don't ruin that one for us. Don't make me pull out the Farnsworth. I don't want to live on this planet anymore. I don't have that one yet. I I should get that one. I don't have that one. That's a shame. But yeah, I love that show. My daughter, when she was a little kid, she grew up watching it with me, and she loved the first episode of Futurama. You want to know the reason why?
Why?
Because he saw Fry's butt. She thought that was the funniest thing. That's the funniest thing. And she'd go on trips, and they'd have a DVD player in the car, and she insist on taking that Futurama with her and watch that first episode because Fry's butt. That's so funny. That's how that's probably the reason why my kid turned out the way she was. We sat down and we'd watch stuff like Futurama, Father Ted. If you ever seen that show, uh, I gotta get some. I gotta see if I can find some Father Ted ones. Um, just try to give her a wide range of television to watch when I was
Mm-hmm.
babysitting her growing up and all that. And besides Thomas the Tank Engine, um, uh, oh, we got to say hi to it's Courtney. Hi, Courtney. Are you still out in Colorado?
Hey, Courtney.
She is a lovely
Good
lady.
question.
She's so much fun to talk to. Yeah,
Absolutely.
she knows. She knows her music. There's no doubt about that. Disenchanted. I don't know. What about? I haven't seen Disenchanted. Uh, she's still out in Colorado in the Mile High City. Uh, well, we're thinking about you. So I hope everything is going good for you, Miss Courtney.
I would love to be in Colorado now. Um, I have people I know that are in or around, I should say, Denver.
hmm
So it would be nice to go out there and visit.
I've gone through Colorado quite a bit. You don't want to be in the mountains when it's coming down with snow, that's for sure.
No.
No, but I remember the first time back in the '70s we go through there, and I insisted that we go to at that time Mile High Comics because you'd always see it at the end of the comic book in the comic books, and they have a list of back issues you can get from Mile High Comics. It's like I wanted to see this magical place called Mile High Comics, and it's like okay, you got there. It was like kind of a warehouse-ish looking place with the comic book boxes and all that, and and it's like, but still, you were there.
Yeah.
You saw the Mecca. That's what's important. Yes, tons of snow. Yeah, in Grand Junction. We lived in Grand Junction for a little while, but I was too young to remember it. I don't remember living there. Don't remember it all.
See, I would have if I were to ever become rich, I'd have a summer home in Colorado.
Mm. I'm trying to figure where would I. You know, I love Santa Fe. My grandfather and my grandmother moved down there, and it's so beautiful there, and so much around there. But I don't know if I want to live there. Trying to figure where would I want to live if I had a summer home. I mean, oh, that means I have to find a winter home because I basically live in a winter state. Hmm. I think I'd like to have a winter home up in Two Harbors, Minnesota, up there, just off of Lake Superior. Watch the ships come in and out, and then find someplace nice and warm for the winter time. That's not too crazy.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
hmm
You could
I
find
know.
someplace in Arizona.
hmm
That way it's not not too cold, not too hot.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, just
Goldilocks. I know, perfect place for me. Roswell. I can be down there with the rest of the aliens.
exactly.
Well, I keep on getting Wendy Webb and 24 and all that say, come on down and join us in Texas. It's like, it gets hot down in Texas. I got family in Texas. I know what Texas is like.
Yeah, exactly.
It's just like in
Texas
the
again. That'd be another winter home place.
mm-hmm. That is definitely a winter home. That's where have that. That's the winter home, and the summer home go up to Two Harbors, nice little town up there, and watch all the fools running out to go fishing.
Exactly.
Just outside of Duluth, not too far away. So Duluth, I love to visit Duluth. I wouldn't want to live in Duluth. Oh. That's one place I've never been is Maine. The missus and I want to go to Maine sometime.
That's one of the states I've never been to, or even been through.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm. I'd have to think now what all states I've been through, because it's been quite a few.
Take care, Courtney.
Yeah, take
Love
care,
you.
Courtney.
Take care. Hope everything goes good there. Talk to you later. We got to talk, you and me. Yeah, see, I think I've been to every state west of the Mississippi except for Oregon. Never been to Oregon. Then it gets a little bit more sketchy on the other side of the Mississippi.
Hmm.
Of course, Wisconsin. You have to go to Wisconsin. You gotta get your cheap fireworks there and beer and Everclear. No. Yeah, Illinois, Detroit, Michigan, Indiana, Tennessee, Kentucky, Georgia, North Carolina, Florida, Georgia, Mississippi, Louisiana. Yeah, I've been through a lot of those places. Most of it was traveling through, but that counts.
Oh yeah, I remember going through it. Atlanta.
Oh, yeah. Isn't Atlanta insane?
Yes.
I have news for you. Denver is just as bad. At least it was at one time.
It depends on when and where you go in Denver.
That's true. True.
And now there was one time I went to Denver. Um, it was I don't remember what was going on now. I went and visited some friends and family while there, and I just had a good time. Didn't really see the city, but
Let's see. I've been to Pennsylvania, gone through Pennsylvania. I remember going through there. It was after the 65 mile an hour was, they let the states have whatever the license, their speeds are. And the moment you hit Pennsylvania, they had the sign is, we're still 55. Nobody, no, it's like, okay, you're boring. Of course, you didn't want to be speeding because if you had the foreign plates, that's usually what the cops want to go for.
Oh yeah.
Definitely in Scotty. Definitely in Scotty, Wisconsin there. So, what exciting stuff have you got planned up, or what exciting stuff have you been doing here with the
Well,
on the old YouTuber?
right now I am waiting on getting a uh, part so I can start streaming on my other computer, because this one I'm having issues with StreamYard. working. I tried to get on Monday, and it was so bad. I lasted about 30 minutes before, and it was very. StreamYard is resource heavy anyhow. And so that's why when it came to I was doing the stream and having connection problems. So it's just like, so I'm going to have to go with the other computer and that I can actually hook up directly to the router. And, it'll be different, but I think it'll work better.
Yeah, I think you're gonna get a lot better ability to get stuff out there. Yeah.
But so I have to wait for that part, and then I'll be able to connect again and start streaming.
Now I got a little bit more time on my hands. I should come over and lurk on your channel.
You're more than welcome anytime.
Thank you.
But no, that I don't really have anything planned yet. I've got a few people that are supposed to be coming on next week, but we'll have to see what happens.
Yeah.
The part should be here tomorrow. I may have to, do some updates in order to get the computer to the point of running, but that's neither here nor there.
Captain Fandom Nerd was electrocuted today as he was working on his computer. But on the other side of the news, he's getting excellent reception now.
Absolutely. Wow. This has been fun. Thank you.
Oh yeah, always enjoy to have you here. Like I said, a lot more relaxed. Not necessarily going after the culture war stuff as much. Just what's on the mind, what's memories, stuff like that. I mean, there's so much of the let's go out, and which I'm guilty of. I mean, obviously, with 24 and some of the others, it's just nice to have a show just to sit around BS and have a good time.
Absolutely.
And play nonsensical videos like this.
Help! I'm being repressed!
Oh, of course. Oh, John, you had to sit back and say at 11?
Tonight at 11.
Doom!
There we go. Oh yeah, I enjoy. I'm having far too much fun with that. So, well, we're coming to the 1.5 hour mark, and it was a great time having you here. Of course, I told you before the first time that you're always invited back.
Well,
you're back,
you.
And definitely have you on again, and we can chat about more stuff. And of course, I'm sure we'll be bumping into each other with Tuesday Night Trek and other stuff. And
oh, absolutely.
Anytime you want me, you got my. DM. You can DM me anytime there, and I check those occasionally.
Cool.
And
thank you again.
Yeah, more than happy to. Like I said, I enjoy just the BS sessions. It gets us to know a lot. All of us to get to know each other a lot better. And because everyone always sees the face of of going out there and whatever. It's like this is a chance to get maybe understand a little bit more why we are this way, what we remember, and show that this is the reason why, and obviously in a very calm and civilized manner. So I mean, I think it's very important on that. I think it really is.
And to answer your question, old man, yes, I would. I've been taught to be kind to the elderly.
You don't know him too well, do you? No, just kidding. You think I can talk? I'm definitely second place, definitely. So, you're waiting for your part, and then you'll be able to announce, I'm sure, on various places what you got coming up there. So, be
Yep,
looking forward to what you have there. Of course, like I said, always
absolutely.
DM me if you ever want anything.
Sure
Um,
thing.
well, sure. And for me, I might as well sit back and plug myself a little bit. Of course, every Wednesday at this time, this YouTube channel, this show. Catch me on Pop Culture Minefield Saturday morning fun time show with Gary and Keith. Gary keeps on wanting me to come over and be on the show still. I don't know why he's crazy. Unfortunately, the Kings are down until about August. 24 is having kind of the same problem as you are.
Hmm.
He's doing a move right now and internet issues. He's not able to do streaming because of bandwidth. He's able to put videos out, but he's not able to put streaming out because of
Uh,
that.
yeah.
So hopefully here in August we'll be getting back together with the gang and causing a little bit of a ruckus. And Tuesday Night Trek, you and me usually end up seeing each other on there on Master Paul's channel. And of
Oh
course,
yeah.
please people, please, 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 right there, it's in the chat. Please subscribe to Captain Fandom Nerd. Catch up on what he's had and look forward to whatever he has coming up there. He's an interesting chap, and um, you know, uh, always good to hear from all sorts of different YouTubers out there, especially one that was Captain Trek to Fandom Nerd, much more wide range.
Absolutely.
So,
Absolutely. And that's again one of the reasons I changed it. But you know,
mhm.
again, thank you for having me on. This has been fun.
You're more than welcome to. I thank you so much. And of course, I want to thank everybody that was in the chat that came in here. Well, of course, my long suffering, the old man, John Rendell, Super Wrench. Of course, we had Courtney, but she's not here. Maybe she'll catch the whole thing later on. We had Zax. We had, I'm scrolling, Pat Wannabe. He was here.
Hmm.
Um, and I think I got everybody who was in the chat. And of course, anybody who was lurking, you're just as important. We're not going to discriminate against you because you don't want to chat in there, which I can understand. I didn't for the longest time myself. And so I thank you, everybody, and I hope everybody has a wonderful, wonderful night. I'm trying to find the perfect thing to go out on here, and
Excuse me while I whip this out.